Happy Victory Monday, Commanders fans. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today I watched the Commanders All-22 film from yesterday's dominant win over the Arizona Cardinals, and I came away with 8 takeaways. All of them being positive today, no negative stuff, because after you come off a win like that, you got to keep things light, all right? But before we get into the takeaways today and all the good stuff that I saw on film in that Week 4 performance versus the Redbirds, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon, because if you believe the playoffs are in play for your Washington Commanders this year, you better be clicking that thumbs up icon to let me know. Okay, first takeaway here, Jayden Daniels has had the best start to an NFL career for a rookie quarterback I have ever seen, period. I mean, I haven't seen a quarterback play this well in his first time starting a season since Patrick Mahomes won his first MVP in his second season after he sat out the first year there with Kansas City. It's been that good. All right, you look at the completion percentage yesterday, absolutely unbelievable. Once again, over 85% completions. Total yards, 331 yards. Goodness gracious, man. 2 touchdowns on the day and an interception. But you know what, man? When you put 42 points on an opposing team, that interception doesn't look too bad. You look at the passing chart here, and the Giants report host here at Chat Sports, Marshall Green, Tom Downey, the Cowboys report host. Oh, he doesn't throw the ball to the left side of the field. Well, yeah, he's completing 85% of his passes, though. At least we have quarterbacks capable of doing that, all right? So I'm looking at this right now. Look at the middle area of the field, man. This guy is a technician in the middle of the field. All I heard all draft season was, this guy can't throw it in the middle of the field. It's not that he can't throw it there. It's that he didn't throw it there that often because he didn't need to at LSU. When he did throw the ball in the middle of the field, he was one of the most efficient passers in college football. It's definitely in his bag, and he's showing it off in the National Football League with that beautiful technical, proficiency in the middle of the field. It's absolutely beautiful to watch, and you look at the stats through the first 4 games this year. These are unparalleled numbers for somebody just starting their NFL career. 82.1% completion percentage. We're going to talk about it. Highest ever for any quarterback in NFL history to start a season. Over 1,000 yards already, total yards, producer Coop. It's unbelievable. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, just 1 turnover. This guy's absolutely balling out right now. And like I said, that 82.1% completion percentage, the highest ever, not just for a rookie, for any quarterback ever in NFL history. And the person that was number 2 on that list, Tom Brady, won the MVP for that season. I'm just saying, man. I've never seen a rookie play this well, ever. We saw C.J. Stroud arguably have the best rookie season ever last season. And if Jayden Daniels continues on the path he's going on right now, this guy's going to be the greatest, and he's going to take C.J. Stroud's mantle right out from under him just 1 season after Stroud had that awesome season last year at the Houston Texans. And listen, man, I know it's early, and I know it's a little bit crazy to think that this is somebody that just won the Heisman Trophy and was playing college football last year, but Jayden Daniels is an early MVP candidate. I mean, right now you're looking at guys like Sam Darnold, you're looking at guys like Josh Allen, you're looking at guys like Lamar Jackson, and you're looking at guys like Jayden Daniels right now, a rookie for the Washington Commanders. And boy, is it a blessing to have a kid like this on your football team. It's definitely a good time to be a Commanders fan right now, man. So let me know down there in the comments section, what's the percent chance that Jayden Daniels wins NFL MVP? Screw Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think we know that he's a front runner for that. What's the chance he wins MVP in his rookie season this year? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me down there in the comment section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time. Now give me a number, 0 to 100. Second takeaway here from this film is that you just look at the offensive dominance throughout the season, man. And not only is Jayden Daniels arguably the best quarterback in the National Football League to begin this 2024 campaign, but the Commanders' offense is the most efficient offense in the National Football League as we stand here today. If you guys don't know what EPA is, it's a very advanced analytic that every single NFL front office uses. And you look at this, man, you look at this chart, they're number 1 in both passing and rushing efficiency to this point, beating everybody. Top right there is exactly where you want to be, and the Commanders are dominating the rest of the National Football League right now. They had to extend the freaking chart for how well they are doing in terms of the passing game efficiency, with Jayden Daniels leading the way. to this point. The Washington Commanders, in just the first year under the Kliff Kingsbury regime here, is putting up numbers like this. And, if it wasn't for a relatively kind of shaky start to the season here, these first 2 weeks, this would easily be number one in every single category. Over 30 points a game, over 380 yards per game. They're top 5 in yards per play. They're first and third down percentage. That just shows you the poise that Jayden Daniels is bringing to the table for this offense this year. And they're first in giveaways with just 1 on the season, so they're protecting the frickin' football. Then you look at last year's numbers, and you compare that. The turnaround has been staggering. Definitely, in the bottom portion, if not the bottom third of the lead in just about every single category except red zone efficiency. If there's one thing Eric Bieniemy got out of this offense last year, is that when they got into the red zone, they freaking scored. But they didn't get there all that often because they were turning the ball over all the time. They weren't really scoring a bunch of points because they weren't moving the football effectively. And, this is just a huge one-year turnaround from just a couple of switches here at the offensive coordinator and quarterback positions. And I couldn't be happier about it. And speaking of Kliff Kingsbury, the new offensive coordinator, what a turnaround for this guy, man. I will raise my hand right now, and I've said it a number of times on this show over the last 2 weeks. I'm probably very, very wrong on Kliff Kingsbury. I put out a video earlier this offseason on why I think he's going to fail with the Washington Commanders. And just 4 games in, he's leading the most effective offense in the National Football League. However, I still have 2 worries regarding Kliff Kingsbury at this point. My first worry is if he leaves. I mean, the fact that that's your worry, that this guy leaves your team, is a very good thing for this season. But I am worried that Kliff Kingsbury is getting a bunch of head coaching buzz right now. And if you take him away from Jayden Daniels and you have to learn a new playbook in your second year in the league, is Jayden going to be able to be as effective in another offense as he has been in this air raidy type of style offense with Mr. Kliff Kingsbury? Watch out for the Chicago Bears, by the way, because Kliff obviously worked with Caleb Williams in his final season there at USC last year as his quarterbacks coach. And if there's anybody that Caleb Williams would want as the next head coach of the Bears if Matt Eberflus gets fired, it's definitely got to be this guy, especially with what he's doing in Washington. So watch out for the Bears to poach Kliff Kingsbury. But if I have another worry about Kliff still at this point is that, we've been here before with Kliff Kingsbury where this offense has completely exploded to start the season. Remember a few years ago, when he was still the head coach of the Cardinals, that team was rolling. All right, and that offense was the talk of the NFL world for the first half of the year, and then they completely just shattered to finish the season. They finished the season 3-5, and they ended their season with a playoff loss. Now, Kyler Murray did get hurt. That definitely contributed to that. But you look at his career throughout as an offensive play caller, if a defense can figure out his offense, all right, and the things that he brings to the table in a given season, he hasn't been the best at adjusting. Okay, so I'm really hoping that doesn't happen here. Now that he's just an offensive coordinator, all he has to worry about is to make adjustments, get the game plan set. He doesn't have to worry about everything that a head coach has to worry about as well. So right now, I'm feeling very good about Kliff Kingsbury, but I still have those 2 worries, and the fact that one of them is that he might get poached is excellent for Mr. Kliff Kingsbury. Kudos to him. So true or false? Let me know down there in the comments section. The Commanders will finish as the NFL's best offense in 2024. They're certainly on their way to that right now. Type T if you think it's true, or F if you think it's false. Just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor at Game Time. So while I'm talking about Game Time, go down there in the comments section and let me know if you think the Commanders will be number 1 in the offensive category for 2024. With that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, and they are the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. I mean, guys, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch. Game Time Picks is a brand new feature from our friends at Game Time, which filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. What I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing so you don't get slapped with crazy fees at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Another offensive takeaway here is kudos to the offensive line. And I said coming into the season, man, this is a unit that I was worried about. You guys know it. All right, and I said if this unit came out and proved me wrong, nobody would be happier than me. Now, it's not the best unit in the league, but they're certainly not the worst. You take a look at the PFF grades in week 4. Some disappointing grades there. Sam Cosmi a little bit lower, but I thought the 2 left tackles played excellent, and Cornelius Lucas and Brandon Coleman, who split snaps. Tyler Biadasz had his best week of the season to this point. Now, keep in mind here, PFF grades are not gospel, okay? You have to look at the film, all that stuff. I thought Sam Cosmi played a lot better than that 45.1 grade. For example, I thought Nick Allegretti played better than the 60.2 grade. I actually thought even Andrew Wiley, who I've been extremely critical of, had a better grade. I would have given him a higher grade than a 64 in week 4. But you take a look at the grades here throughout the season for this unit. I mean, most of these guys are ranking above average in their specific category of position. Cornelius Lucas, I mean, he's completely setting the bar higher than I thought for him heading into the season. Nick Allegretti is definitely playing pretty well right now. Tyler Biadasz is also holding up to his contract. Sam Cosmi is a little bit surprising there, but on film, I think he looks a lot better than that 64.3 grade. And speaking of the left tackle position here, man, and the conversation around Cornelius Lucas and Brandon Coleman, I think right now Cornelius, especially when you look on film, I think that he is probably the better option at left tackle, and I'd probably give him more snaps. All right, I wouldn't split him up as much as the Commanders are doing right now. You guys can see by these grades here, Cornelius is one of the best pass protecting left tackles in football with an 83.9 pass blocking grade. Very similar run block grade as well. Brandon, in fewer snaps, has allowed more pressures and more sacks. So listen, I understand that Coleman is the future of the position and all that stuff, but let him sit, let him develop, and let Cornelius Lucas do his thing because he is playing very well right now. And, I don't think that Brandon Coleman is necessarily playing terribly, especially this past week against the Cardinals. I thought he had some very impressive reps this past week against Arizona, and the PFF grade reflected that. But Cornelius, I think, is really, really playing above his pay grade right now, and I definitely tip my cap to him. And I tip my cap to the entire offensive line because for a unit that on paper should have been one of the worst in football is coming out here, and they're definitely holding their own and giving Jayden Daniels enough time to throw and giving B-Rob and the rest of these running backs lanes to exploit in the run game as well. So kudos to this group. Then we get to Olamide Zaccheaus, who hasn't really shown up all that much here to start this season, but he was the leading receiver for the Washington Commanders here in week 4. 85 yards on 6 catches. He was making some guys miss. He was running good routes. He was looking like somebody that's going to be a contributor for this Washington Commanders team, not only on special teams this year, but also as an offensive piece and as a third, fourth receiving option, whatever you want to call him, versus Luke McCaffrey, for example. I don't really care what you want to say about Olamide Zaccheaus, but I think that he is somebody that is definitely a value to this offense and obviously has a pretty decent connection with Jayden Daniels based on what we saw on film this past week. So let me know, or not let me know, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'm going to let you know to click that subscribe button right now. We got daily videos here on the Commanders Report. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers here on the Commanders Report. We're very, very close to hitting that very awesome milestone of 20K here on the show. So if you guys want to click that subscribe button right now, we got breaking news coverage whenever there's big injury news, whenever there's a big signing or trade. We have a weekly live show every single Wednesday starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. We have regular live watch parties, especially for every single primetime Commanders game, and also it's all 100% free. So if you want in-depth Commanders coverage for free every single day, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. I want to give a little bit of love here to John Bates because he's not sexy, all right? He's not going to be going out there and making 50-yard receptions or anything like that, but he blocks his freaking butt off, man, and he is an unsung hero, but as a kind of almost sixth offensive lineman with the way that he creates run lanes, it has been a huge X factor to get this offense and this running offense in particular where it has been. Because this guy moves people as a blocker. He's not the sexiest guy in terms of a pass catcher, but as a run blocker, oh my goodness, this guy is a huge value, and he has been such an unsung hero in this offensive turnaround here for Washington this year. Then Dorance Armstrong comes in with a monster day. I wish I would have given him a game ball in my post-game show yesterday, but he had a sack and a half yesterday, pretty much 2 sacks. A forced fumble, 5 tackles. This guy absolutely ate yesterday. He was very quiet the first 3 weeks of the season, and I was starting to wonder, hey, Dorance Armstrong, they gave you a contract here to be the number 1 edge rusher here. where are you at? Well, he definitely answered the call here in week 4. Kudos to him. It was absolutely awesome to see. And also good to see Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne joining the party here. Both of them had sacks in this one. Both of them had some decent plays. I thought Daron Payne had some bad reps as a run defender, but like I said, we're keeping it positive on today's show here on Victory Monday. So I'm glad to see Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne join the party a bit, but definitely want to see that consistency from this unit because you're paying them $162 million combined to be that foundation of this defense. So before I go here, let's talk about the dynamic of the division, the NFC East, because not many people, including myself, I'll admit it, weren't giving the Commanders much of a shot to win this division this year. But they're sitting in a great spot right now. They have sole possession of first place in this division. Philly just got ramrodded on the road versus Tampa Bay. That defense looks super, super soft. The Dallas Cowboys, I mean, talk about soft defenses. Oh, my goodness. Mike Zimmer is a huge step down from what Dan Quinn had that unit at last year, and the offense isn't as good either. The offensive line is soft. Then the Giants just plain stink. So right now, the Washington Commanders, certainly with the best offense arguably in football, a defense that's starting to get better and better each week, each passing week. This is the best team in the division right now. On paper, based on what we've seen so far, obviously things can change. The Eagles are still very talented. They could figure it out by the end of the season. But man, with Jayden Daniels leading the way, Kliff Kingsbury calling the shots on offense, this defense getting better every single week, especially on the pass rush. I think the only way you can look at it right now is that the Commanders are the favorites in the NFC East. And if you would have told me that at the beginning of the season, I would have said you were crazy. But guess what, man? I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong, and Dan Quinn, Kliff Kingsbury, Jayden Daniels have completely changed the dynamic of this franchise, and I can't believe it's happening this quickly. So predict it for me down there in the comments section. Who wins the NFC East this year? If I'm predicting it right now, I got to go with the Commanders based on what I've seen from all of these teams in the first 4 weeks. But let me know down there in the comments section who wins the division this season. That'll be it for us today here at the Commanders Report. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Tomorrow, it is a Week 5 preview versus the Cleveland Browns, who are struggling very much right now. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button for my in-depth preview tomorrow. Until next time, go raise some hail.